Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into something that's honestly a bit of an emotional roller coaster. We are unpacking the deeply universal experience of graduation and growing up. But we're not just talking about putting on a cap and gown or sitting through a ceremony on a football field. No, we're looking at this as a profound psychological crossing. If you've ever felt that strange, bittersweet ache when leaving a familiar stage of your life behind, well, you are in the exact right place. Let's get into it.
What if growing up always means learning how to love people you cannot keep forever? Wow, that is a heavy, provocative hook from Nick Sasaki's Imaginary Talks, and it just immediately captures that incredibly complex grief we feel during big life transitions. And we're going to really validate that feeling today, that specific, deep ache of leaving a familiar, structured world behind and stepping completely into the unknown.
Section 1. The End of a Shared World. The first stage of our crossing. Graduation carries this incredibly unique kind of pain. Nobody died, there's no massive tragedy, so why in the world does it feel like you're losing an entire planet? Think about it for a second. Teenagers build this tiny, intricate universe out of just incredibly ordinary repetitions. The locker slams in the hallway, the loud bus rides, claiming those specific lunch tables. They do this day in and day out, building a whole reality way before they even consciously realize what it means to belong to a place. Okay, let's dive into this. J.D. Salinger completely hit the nail on the head here. People are constantly patting you on the back, saying congratulations and good luck out there, but literally nobody warns you that you are about to lose the daily version of your life. You don't get Tuesday at 12:17 p.m. anymore. You don't get that exact air or that specific inside joke echoing in the cafeteria. And honestly, losing that highly specific shared timeline is what actually triggers the grief. Take a mental speed bump here. The filmmaker Makoto Shinkai has this absolutely brilliant concept: memory changes the lighting. Think about an ordinary, maybe even painfully boring classroom. The exact moment that chapter is over, it suddenly fills with this warm, nostalgic afternoon gold in our minds. It's like magic. We start gathering up all these tiny, ordinary moments and instantly turning them into sacred symbols. Section 2. Leaving your shaping friends. The second stage. So as we say goodbye to the people who witnessed our absolute most awkward, unguarded years, we really have to ask, why do friendships formed in youth feel literally impossible to replace? Have you ever actually stopped to think about that? It's because you're leaving friends who knew exactly who you were before you even knew how to explain yourself to the world. They saw the messy, unfinished version of you, and that creates a bond that is uniquely, fiercely irreplaceable. And this brilliantly illustrates Taylor Swift's point. You can totally make new friends later, sure, but the old ones hold the original footage. Youthful friends are irreplaceable because they actually remember the scenes, the terrible haircuts, the very first heartbreaks, and a specific kind of laughter that you yourself might have already forgotten. They were right there with you before your story even had a clear shape. So how do we actually handle this separation? Well, we can honor those who walked with us by becoming better, not bitter, just as Maya Angelou suggests. We can remember them with pure gratitude, like Fred Rogers advises, acknowledging that they literally helped form us. We keep memory as a blessing, not a prison. And finally, as Khalil Gibran teaches, we let love bless what was and what comes next. It's all about carrying these people forward in our hearts without trying to force them back into old, outdated patterns. Section 3. Digital connection versus presence. The third stage. We live in this kind of strange modern reality now where nobody disappears completely, right? You have them all on your phone. Yet profound loneliness still manages to follow graduation. Let's look at the contrast. Physical presence is wonderfully spontaneous. It has a shared, breathing atmosphere, and it gives you this deep, unconscious sense of belonging. Now look at digital contact. It relies on scheduled life updates, trading shared information, and scrolling through archived memories. A group chat might preserve contact beautifully, sure, but it simply cannot replicate the healing, spontaneous magic of just sitting next to someone in comfortable silence or eating cold pizza together at midnight. And that leads to a really profound realization. Distance changes timing. Usually, nobody maliciously wakes up and decides to drift apart from their best friend. It's just that one friend is awake while the other is fast asleep, one is swamped with work while the other is finally free. The clocks simply stop matching up. That emotional synchronization slowly, quietly fades away, and honestly, nobody did anything wrong. So the crucial point is exactly what Antoine de Saint-Exupéry captures here. Messages carry words, but presence carries atmosphere. It is such a powerful reminder for all of us. We really have to be careful not to become mere collectors of digital traces, but to make sure we remain active, breathing participants in a shared physical life.
Section 4. Stepping into the unknown. The fourth stage. Let's move to and see how this builds. Now, the graduate has to gather this immense, terrifying courage to step completely out of that protective school bubble. Look at what you're leaving. School offers borrowed certainty. That's passive dependence, highly structured daily schedules, and very clear external definitions of success handed right to you by teachers and grades. Now look at adulthood. It offers uncertain freedom. It requires intense inner discipline, it asks you to embrace beautiful ambiguity, and it demands self-directed meaning. You are literally trading a safe, protective cage for the heavy, beautiful freedom of finally defining your own life. So we have to ask ourselves, what kind of inner strength is needed when the very next chapter just hasn't revealed itself yet? Listen, it is completely 100% normal to feel sheer panic when you no longer have a clear map in front of you. Validating that fear is actually the crucial first step toward building the inner resilience you need to keep moving. Viktor Frankl offers such a beautiful anchor for us here. He says, a mature spirit learns to walk before the full road is visible. Destiny often whispers gradually, you guys. You don't need the whole map handed to you today. True courage isn't about having zero fear. It's simply about choosing movement despite the fear. It's taking that one imperfect step forward right into the ambiguity. Section 5. The gift of growing up. The final stage of our crossing. All right, this is where we reframe the entire contradiction. That wild mix of joy and heartbreak you feel, it's not a flaw in the system. It is absolute, undeniable proof that your past years deeply and profoundly mattered. As we make this crossing, what should we pack for the trip? Louisa May Alcott says to bring tenderness. C.S. Lewis points to wonder. Jane Austen reminds us not to forget sincerity, and Rainer Maria Rilke highlights imagination. True maturity isn't about abandoning your childhood presence and becoming this hardened, cynical adult. Actually, it's about recovering those wonderful traits consciously as you walk out into adult life. C.S. Lewis really encapsulates this whole transition perfectly. Every new beginning quietly asks for an old ending. We simply cannot step into larger, more expansive spaces, whether emotionally or physically, without leaving the cozy shelter of our simpler days behind. The grief you feel, it's just the necessary, beautiful price of growth. Ultimately, sadness is evidence. The grief we experience at graduation or frankly during any major life transition isn't a mistake or a glitch. It is simply the delayed awakening of gratitude for a season of your life that was beautifully and painfully temporary. I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on today. Is graduation humanity's first quiet reminder that every ordinary day may someday become sacred memory? Thank you so much for taking this journey with me through today's explainer. Keep looking around, keep appreciating the deeply ordinary moments, and carry that emotional grace into whatever transition you happen to face next. See you next time.